Welcome to the untold story of Cleopatra, a queen remembered for her beauty and allure. But what if I told you that Cleopatra was much more than that? She was a brilliant leader, a strategist, and one of the most powerful figures in ancient history. Today we will go beyond the seduction and uncover the true story of Cleopatra VII. Stay tuned as we explore her rise to power, her political brilliance, and her enduring legacy. Born in 69 BC, Cleopatra grew up in the heart of Egypt, in a world full of politics, power, and danger. From a young age, she distinguished herself not with beauty, but with her mind. She studied under the best scholars in Alexandria, mastering philosophy, languages, and science. Unlike many other rulers, Cleopatra could speak to her people and diplomats from other lands. She spoke at least 9 languages, which allowed her to forge deep connections with the world beyond Egypt's borders. Cleopatra's father, Ptolemy XII, faced constant threats from Rome, and young Cleopatra was watching. She understood that Egypt was vulnerable, a mere pawn in the global chess game dominated by Roman interests. But Cleopatra was determined not to be a puppet. At the age of 18, Cleopatra became queen alongside her younger brother, Ptolemy XIII. But soon it became clear that Egypt wasn't big enough for the both of them. Power struggles between the siblings escalated quickly, and Cleopatra was forced into exile. In the desert, Cleopatra didn't cower in defeat. Instead, she built alliances, gathered loyal forces, and began plotting her return to power. But she knew she couldn't do it alone. To take back her throne, Cleopatra needed a powerful ally, someone who could help her reclaim Egypt. And that person was none other than Julius Caesar. The famous story of Cleopatra arriving rolled in a carpet to meet Julius Caesar has been told for centuries. But this was no act of seduction, it was a calculated move. Cleopatra needed to impress Caesar, not with her beauty, but with her intellect and vision for Egypt's future. And she succeeded. Cleopatra presented herself as the solution to Egypt's political instability, a leader who could stabilize the Red-Eyes Rome's support. Caesar, impressed by her intelligence and ambition, became Cleopatra's most powerful ally. Together, they restored Cleopatra to the throne, and the two formed a political and personal relationship that changed the course of history. Once back on the throne, Cleopatra wasted no time. She ruled Egypt with power and grace, overseeing a time of prosperity. Cleopatra was a master diplomat, forging alliances and ensuring that Egypt's wealth and resources were preserved. She expanded trade routes, making Egypt a crucial partner in the Mediterranean world. But her personal life was also making waves. Cleopatra and Julius Caesar's relationship grew deeper, and they had a son, Caesarion. Cleopatra hoped that Caesarion would one day unite Egypt and Rome under one rule. But fate had other plans. When Julius Caesar was assassinated, Cleopatra's dreams of an empire were shattered. Still, Cleopatra didn't give up. After Caesar's death, Cleopatra turned her sights to a new Roman power, Mark Antony. Mark Antony was one of Caesar's most trusted generals, and Cleopatra saw in him the next great ally. Their partnership was both political and personal, with each of them depending on the other for power and survival. Together, Cleopatra and Antony sought to challenge Rome. They ruled as equals and lovers, dreaming of a new empire, one that would rival Rome itself. But the dream would not last. They faced a powerful adversary in Octavian, Caesar's heir, and their ambitions would soon lead to its end. The Battle of Actium in 31 BC was the beginning of the end for Cleopatra and Antony. Their forces were crushed by Octavian, and they fled back to Egypt, their empire in ruins. Facing capture, Cleopatra made a final, fateful decision. She would not be paraded through the streets of Rome as a defeated queen. Instead, she took her own life, using the venom of an asp, a symbol of Egyptian royalty. In her death, Cleopatra became a legend. Her legacy lived on not as a queen of seduction, but as a ruler who dared to defy the greatest empire of her time. Cleopatra's story has been told and retold, often focusing on her beauty and her romantic affairs. But the true Cleopatra was a leader, a strategist, and a queen who understood the intricacies of power. She wasn't just a symbol of seduction, she was a symbol of strength. Her reign, her intellect, and her determination are what make her one of the most fascinating figures in history. If you've enjoyed this untold story of Cleopatra, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Join us for more captivating stories from the ancient world.